Hi you guys, I'm going to make this video to show all of the answers for your review packet so that you guys can see how I did everything step by step, and hopefully that will help you guys study for the test that we're going to have this Monday. So what I would recommend is for you guys to pause the video, try each problem first, even if you do it totally wrong, and then press play to see how I did it and compare your answers afterward. It's way more helpful if you try the problem first rather than just watching me do each problem for you. Even if you do the problem wrong, it's still better than just watching the video first. So with that being said, I'm gonna get started and I'm gonna do problem number 1. To do problem number 1, I'm gonna start by graphing this top equation right here, y equals negative x plus 2. To graph it, I'm going to start with my y-intercept, which is 2. The y-intercept is always the number not directly in front of x. So before I graph that, I'm going to label my axes. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and I'm going to graph 2 on the y-axis. So I'm going to go up 1, 2 on the y-axis. And there's my y-intercept. After I graph my y-intercept, I need to use the slope to find another point on the line. So in this case, my slope is, it's always going to be the number in front of x. If there's not a number there, like you can see here, it's just negative x, there's no number, I'm going to put a 1 over 1. You can always put a 1 in front of a variable. So that means that my slope is negative 1 over 1. So from my y-intercept, because my slope is negative 1 over 1, I'm going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, to find more points on the graph. Once I have enough points, I really only need 2, but once I have enough points, I'm going to connect those with a line. Okay, so there is my line for the first equation. Next, I'm going to graph the second equation, y equals 2x plus 5. I'm going to start with my y-intercept, which is positive 5, the number that's all by itself, not next to x. And I'm going to graph that on the y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, up 5 on the y-axis is right there. So that's my y-intercept. After I'm done graphing that, I'm going to use my slope, which is 2. And I want to write that as a fraction, so I'm going to write that as 2 over 1. I can put a 1 underneath any number to turn it into a fraction. So my slope is positive 2 over 1, which means that from my y-intercept, I'm going to go up 2 over 1 to the right. Up 2 over 1 to the right. And then I'm going to connect those points with a line as well. Okay, so now I have my 2 lines. And the solution is going to be where the 2 lines intersect or cross each other. In this case, it's this point right here. So what that means is that my solution is here. And to write that, I would write that as a coordinate pair. So my solution is right here. To get to that point from the center, I would have to go left 1 and up 3. Which means my solution is negative 1, since we'd have to go left 1, comma, positive 3, since then we'd have to go up 3. And this coordinate is my solution. That describes where the 2 lines intersect. Alright, so at this point, if you guys had any questions about problem number 1 or want more examples, please send me an email or a message on the Remind app, and I would love to help you out. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to problem number 2, and I'm going to start graphing the first equation, and I'm going to go a little bit faster since I already did one example like this. So I'm going to start at 1 on the y-intercept. There's 1 on the y-axis. The slope is 1 over 2, so from there I'm going to go up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, and then I'm going to connect those points with a line. Okay, so here is my first line, and then for the second line, I actually have to do a little bit of work here. So as you can see, y is not by itself in this equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of work to get y by itself. the first thing I want to do is get rid of 4x. So to do that, I'm going to subtract 4x from each side of the equation. So 4x minus 4x is 0. We get 8y equals negative 4x minus 8. After that, to get y by itself, I have to divide everything by 8. And so I would end up with y equals negative 4 divided by 8 is a decimal. So I'm just going to leave it as negative 4/8 x. You could simplify this to negative 1/2 x if you wanted to. Doesn't matter. And then negative 8 divided by 8 is negative 1. Now I can graph this. So I'm going to start at negative 1 on the y-axis. And then my slope is negative 4 over 8. Negative 4 over 8. So we're going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And to the right 8. And then we'll connect that with the straight line. Okay, so there are my two lines. It looks like they cross right here. And to get to that point, I would have to go left 2 spaces and not go up or down at all. So that coordinate is negative 2, comma 0. That would be my solution. Alright, so I'm going to pause this video and then I will either make another video or continue it to do the next few problems.